So what's going on, guys? DIY Dan here again, and this is another mechanical video. In this video, I had the check engine light come on me, along with a message on the instrument cluster saying exhaust fluid system, see owner's manual, 99 miles until reduced to 65 mile per hour, which I thought was a little short notice as far as derating my truck, giving me only 100 miles notice until that was going to happen. Now, along with that message in the instrument cluster, I also had the check engine light come on, and I do carry a pocket scanner in each one of my vehicles because they're just not that much money anymore. So I tried clearing out that check engine light and it would not clear. Now, I had this happen on Clifford, my big red truck, which is a 2017 Chevy 2500 HD with a Duramax. Now, when this message came up, I did not have any power concerns. Everything was running good and all the gauges were right where they should be, so I was able to get it back to my house without a problem. Now, once I did get it home, I did throw the scanner back on it, and the code that I was getting was a P20E8, indicating reductant pressure too low, which is basically a problem with the DEF system. Now, at this point, if you do have a diesel vehicle, obviously you know it takes DEF fluid. What you might not know is that that DEF fluid is basically injected at points in the exhaust system of that vehicle where it reacts with NOx, which is the most harmful emission that diesel engines produce, and basically turns it into nitrogen and water vapor, which is obviously far less harmful. In order to achieve this, just like the fuel system on your vehicle, there is a pump and it is located in the reservoir for the DEF. And in order for this system to work properly, that pump has to maintain a certain amount of pressure. And basically what this code is telling us is that that pump is not maintaining that pressure in order for that system to work properly. Now, I would say 9.5 times out of 10, the most likely cause of this code is going to be that pump / sending unit heater assembly that is in the DEF tank of this vehicle. Now, obviously, there could be wiring issues or pinched wires or other things that could probably also cause this code, but this is going to be your most common failure if you do get this code on your vehicle. You might also see other codes pertaining to DEF level, DEF temperature, or possibly DEF concentration that all lead back to this pump assembly because it's basically an all-in-one unit. So I do know for a fact that the heater is in this pump assembly. I also know the level sensor is in this pump assembly. I am not 100% on the concentration level sensor, but most likely because everything else is included in it, so is that sensor. And once again, don't just assume it is the pump assembly that could be the problem. You could be low on DEF. You also could have low concentration level on the fluid that you bought. So just keep those things in mind before just jumping to the pump. So in this video, I'm going to go over the full replacement of this pump assembly along with helpful tips and mistakes I made along the way, so hopefully you don't make those same mistakes that I did. Now, I did end up calling Chevy in order to order this pump from them. However, they wanted right around $1,000, and I did end up going on Amazon and finding one for around $550. Now, we are Amazon affiliates, and I will put the link to this pump assembly in my description if you need to get it coming. And let's get to it. So the first thing I ended up doing was lifting up the hood, and this was basically just to hopefully give me a little bit more light shining down through the engine compartment to the area where I was going to be working. And then I also went ahead and grabbed a jack and put it up on jack stands just to give me a little bit more clearance under there. Neither of these things are really necessary, just something I did to hopefully make it a little easier. Now, your DEF tank reservoir on this vehicle is right behind the front passenger tire up under the cab. And the first thing you're going to need to remove is a plastic cover that kind of covers that tank. Now, during my videos, I try and get footage of absolutely everything that I do. However, I thought I hit record and I didn't, just to remove this cover. There's a total of 4 bolts you will need to remove. One is at the front of that cover up in the wheel well. Then there is 2 down on the side towards the bottom. And then there is 1 more on the back of that plastic cover, and those take a 10mm socket in order to remove them. Once you get all 4 of those bolts out, you should just be able to pull that plastic cover down and off of the actual reservoir. The next thing you will need to do is remove the metal skid plate that kind of protects the DEF tank reservoir and the components that are underneath. There are a total of 7 fasteners that you will need to remove in order to remove this skid plate. There are 2 nuts that take a 10mm. And then there are 2 bolts that also take that 10mm along the bottom of that skid plate. And then you will need a 13mm socket to remove a total of 3 bolts that hold that skid plate to the frame of the actual vehicle. Once removing those 7 fasteners, that skid plate will come down and off the vehicle. Once that skid plate is out of the way, you will have access to the pump assembly. The first thing I decided to remove was the wiring harness from the pump assembly. In order to do this, you will need kind of a small flathead screwdriver. There is a gray plastic tab that you will need to pull back just a little bit, and you do need to be careful with these because they do get brittle. Usually I try and get those plastic tabs all the way out. However, I guess I shouldn't have done that on this one because this one did snap off when I tried to fully remove it. So instead of trying to fully remove that extra locking tab, you just want to back it off that initial 8 to 1/4 inch and leave it at that. Then you should be able to depress a black tab that is on that wiring harness in order to lift that locking tab off of the little raised tab that is on the pump assembly. Now, since I had actually ended up breaking that extra little gray locking tab, what I ended up doing is getting a small screwdriver and just sticking it underneath that gray locking tab and the black plastic tab that is actually in the pigtail and twisting it a little bit to leverage it up, and then using a bigger flathead screwdriver and putting it between that pigtail and the pump assembly and twisting that to leverage it off of that pump assembly. The next thing I did was remove the pressure hose from the bottom of that pump assembly. You will need a pair of side cutters in order to cut a zip tie that holds part of that wiring harness to that pressure hose coming off the pump assembly. In order to do this, you will need to squeeze 2 plastic tabs that are 180 degrees off from each other on that hose end while prying it or pulling it away from the pump. Once again, just like that stupid wiring harness, these can be a little tricky and it is in a little bit of a restricted space. So I went with the same concept with the bigger flathead screwdriver between the hose and the pump assembly so I could leverage it while I tried squeezing those 2 plastic tabs. Here's a little better look at that hose end so you can understand how that works. So I'm squeezing those plastic tabs on each side of that fitting and it should be raising that plastic lip on the inside, and that allows you to get over the raised tab that is on the pump assembly. Once I removed that hose from the bottom of that pump assembly, I did get a consistent drip out of that plastic fitting coming out of the pump, but it wasn't like a constant flow or anything you really need to worry about. So now we're gonna get into the second mistake I made during this whole entire process. The first was obviously breaking that little plastic tab that was on the wiring pigtail. And the second is misjudging how much def I actually had in this tank when I went to do this pump assembly. Now, the way this pump is locked in place is the same concept they use on a lot of fuel pumps. It's just underneath the tank instead of coming in from the top. And there's basically a metal ring that locks that pump assembly to the reservoir. I actually had a specialty tool made for removing some hydraulic cylinder caps that I thought would work well, but in the end, it all turned out to the basic old school method of grabbing a pry bar and a hammer in order to break this metal ring free from that pump. So using that mallet and a pry bar or a large screwdriver, you want to hit the outer ring counterclockwise, and there are several tabs around this ring that you can tap on. If you tap on it, get it to move a little bit, then it seems like it gets stuck. Go 180 degrees off and hit that same tab on the other side counterclockwise, and that should help break it free. And you're just gonna do that until it comes completely off of the tabs on the tank, and that ring should come off without a problem. You'll notice that lock ring has some skinny slotted holes that basically opens up to a wider slot. Once you knock that lock ring all the way over where it has the wider slotted holes, it will fall off of the tabs that are mounted to the reservoir itself, enabling you to remove that DEF pump assembly from the reservoir. Make sure you take note of the position of this pump assembly in the reservoir before going any further so you know how to put it back and have it timed correctly. Now, I was really expecting this DEF assembly to fall out when I removed that lock ring. However, it decided to stay up there. And what I should have done is leave it until it was fully drained. However, since I am not a very patient individual, I decided to grab a screwdriver and stick it between that DEF pump and the reservoir and pry it down a little bit. That did crack the seal and started leaking a lot more than what it was. However, the problem with this is I couldn't stick it back up in there in order to make it seal any better than that. For some reason, I had forgot that I had actually just filled up this tank, which is about 5 gallons worth of DEF fluid, and I only had a pan capable of holding probably 1 or 2 gallons. So this ended up being a major catastrophe, so please be prepared and have a pretty decent sized container for this DEF fluid to fall into when you remove this pump. If you look to the right of the screen, you can see me running for another drain pan right now, cussing while I'm doing it. Now I did look for any type of a drain valve on the bottom of this reservoir before trying to remove this pump assembly, and I couldn't find it. But this was just a total lapse in judgment on my behalf. I thought there was probably 1 to 2 gallons in it, and there ended up being probably 4.5 to 5, and 4.5 gallons does not fit in a 2-gallon container very well. So I dumped the rest of that all over my garage floor. You'll notice by the time I got that other drain pan over there, I was just in the nick of time for it to be done draining. So maybe don't underestimate how much depth you have in your tank when you go to do this. Fuck me. Once it was done draining, I just grabbed it, wiggled it a little bit, and pulled down, and the pump assembly came right out of the bottom of that reservoir. Right here you can see me moving the actual float. That tells the vehicle where that depth fluid level in that reservoir is. So if you're constantly reading low or it's not reading that you filled it up, that could be your problem. But irregardless, that's not really interchangeable, and you do have to buy a full assembly anyways, so it doesn't really matter. Now I actually called a Chevy dealership and they wanted $1,000 for this pump assembly. I ended up going on Amazon and looking up an OEM original, which is AC Delco, and this is the one I found for $530. Now when I went on to Amazon and ordered this part, I did try and confirm that it fit a 2017 Chevy 2500 HD with the Duramax diesel, and it said it could not confirm the fit. I did end up ordering it, and it is an identical match to what I pulled out of my vehicle. So you might want to take a good look at yours before ordering this, or make sure there is free returns on your order in case it is not correct. So right here, I just kind of put them side by side, making sure they looked identical to each other. I did have to pull some of those red straps out from underneath that O-ring before getting ready to install it. So right here, I'm just putting it up in place. It was a little tricky to get those red flaps up in there while trying to actually get the pump assembly up in place, because there was nothing really to hold them. So what I ended up doing is holding the 2 red straps that were closest to each other on the one side of the unit up, then held those in place by pressing the pump assembly against the reservoir so I could get my hand around to the other side to push that red strap up in place, and then just kind of push them all individually up as I went up with the pump assembly. Then don't forget that it has to be timed a certain direction. There's a tab on that pump assembly that goes between 2 of the tabs that are on the reservoir tank, basically pointing the fitting for the pressure hose straight to the back of the vehicle. There is one other thing that makes this install a little tricky. You'll notice on the depth pump assembly that there is no groove that O-ring sits into. The groove that the O-ring sits into is actually on the reservoir, which obviously is upside down, so it makes it kind of hard to install it on the reservoir and keep it in place. So what I ended up doing is kind of putting that O-ring as centered as possible on that depth pump assembly before going up to install it. And then when I went up into place, I wiggled it around, shimmied it back and forth until it felt like that O-ring kind of sat in place in that groove in the depth tank reservoir. Now, I really wasn't too confident in this approach, but it did end up working out for me. If you're not too confident in doing it that way, you could take some grease, put it on that O-ring, and see if you can get it to stick to the bottom of the depth tank reservoir before installing the pump, or possibly a couple dabs of silicone. They also make this assemble goo, which is kind of made for situations just like this, so you can order that if you want. Whichever way you decide to do that, you will know if you got it in there correctly, because if it starts leaking all over the place, you know you don't. Once I felt like I had that O-ring up in its groove from just wiggling it around, then I took the lock ring and got it started by hand. Now there is a top and a bottom to this lock ring, and the raised ridge goes towards the bottom, basically the flat side towards the reservoir. And I don't fully recall whether that had to be timed a certain direction, whether one of the slots was offset different than the others. But basically, if all the slots in that lock ring line up with all the tabs on the reservoir and it goes into place, you're good to go. Once I got that lock ring started by hand, then I grabbed my pry bar and my little mallet and tapped that lock ring clockwise until the tabs that were on the reservoir were fully seated all the way against the slots in that lock ring. After that, I went ahead and removed the cap that was covering the hose fitting on the pump assembly and snapped the hose into place, you should hear that detent of those plastic clips snapping in place. Once hearing the detent and giving it a little tug to make sure it wasn't going to come off of there, then I went ahead and snapped the hose back into the little clip that was on the wiring harness, and I went ahead and plugged that wiring harness back into the DEF pump assembly. When plugging in that wiring harness, you should hear the little click of the detent on that, just like we did on the hose. Then I gave it a little tug just to make sure it didn't feel like it was going to come off. After I verified it wasn't coming off, then I went ahead and pushed what little part of that gray plastic locking tab that I had broke during disassembly back into place once again to assist in holding it from possibly vibrating off in the future. I replaced the zip tie that I had to cut off during disassembly to help hold that wiring harness up in place. At this point, I decided to go ahead and put a little bit of DEF in my reservoir to make sure that that O-ring was sealed and was up in there properly so I didn't have a leak before going any further. I ended up putting a full 2.5 gallon jug in the reservoir. I probably should have only started by putting a gallon in before verifying that it wasn't leaking, but in my case, it was not leaking, and I was pretty confident in that O-ring seal that I had it in properly. Once doing that, I did install that metal skid plate to protect that reservoir and that pump assembly, and tighten down all the fasteners that held that in place. Then put the decorative plastic cover back on and put 2 of the 4 bolts back into it. Now in my case, 2 of the 4 clips were actually broken when I removed this plastic cover, so I ended up only putting the one in the back and the one in the front to hold it. But it seems like it's going to hold it just fine without those other 2. Just for the hell of it, I did try and put my scanner on it one more time after putting that new assembly in and tried to clear the codes, and they would not, which I kind of figured it wouldn't because it does have to go on a drive cycle in order for that pump to engage and work for it to see that it's working properly now. So then I went ahead and proceeded to get it off the jack stands, close my hood, and clean up my mess a little bit from all that DEF fluid and go for a drive. Oh, we just changed. There it goes. Look at that. Happened very quickly, actually. It must have tried to use the DEF pump and it saw that it would work. So it was reading 83 miles till 65. Then it went to 3,100. And now the DEF light has shut off and we have no check engine light and no message in the instrument panels. So we didn't even get out of my subdivision. So that's very exciting. We're going to turn it around and go ahead and go home. She's running nice, and I am happy, even though I've to my garage. So that's going to wrap it up for this video, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and it gave you some good information. It sucks if this happens to your truck. Granted, I got 183,000 miles on this truck, and I got it with 160, and I've been the one maintaining, or my guys at my work have been maintaining this vehicle, and we have never done this DEF pump. So 180,000 on the same pump is actually pretty good. And hopefully this one will last me the rest of the time that I have this vehicle. If you did like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. I'd really appreciate it. The whole concept of my channel is to give you guys the most information in the least amount of time as possible so I don't waste your time. And I hope to see you next time. Have a good one. Later.